My guests today are film director Salvador Litvak and actor Dermot Mulroney and their brand new film, Guns and Moses, which is debuting in theaters nationwide on July 18th. So welcome, gentlemen, to the show.
Thank you.
Great to be with you.
Well, I have a question right off the bat here. I watched Guns N' Roses, so I want to see a sequel. I absolutely love this film. And Salvador, we'll start with you. Why was this story so very important to tell, especially with the rise of anti-Semitism in our world today?
Yeah, I mean, it's just been an unbelievable acceleration in these kinds of attacks. We made it before October 7th. It was inspired by a shooting in Poway, California in 2019. But the kind of acceleration in overt hatred of the Jews, calling for killings of Jews, these protests on the campuses that resulted directly in an attack in Boulder and a murder in Washington. It's shocking. It's shocking. My grandmother was a Holocaust survivor. She carried my mother as an infant through a concentration camp. And they always said it could happen anywhere. It could happen in any age. We didn't believe them, but now we're seeing evidence that things can happen.
Yeah, this film has such an incredible story to it. And Dermot, this film is heavily character driven, which I absolutely love. There are multiple viewpoints in this film concerning race, racism, conspiracy theories, even self-defense. What intrigued you about the script that made you say yes to it?
Well, I always look for screenplays that are interesting and then take a take on anything that's unique. It's harder and harder to do that these days, as we know. I love a good thriller. Here I am. I set up a character at the top of the film that plays throughout the film because of, won't say too much, but what he's up to. The film encompasses family betrayals and government corruption, and major cultural misunderstandings. And we worked with a great cast. I joined Christopher Lloyd, who I worked with decades ago in the scenes that I was in, and put together a terrific film.
Yeah, this whole film has such an all-star cast to it. And this is a question from both of you. So with Rabbi Mo, the lead character, is he more like David when he fought Goliath, or is he more like Gideon with only 300 men, but all of heaven behind him?
You lost me on the Bible stuff, but I'll field that one.
I thought Salvador may like that one.
I mean, you're definitely talking about a guy who's up against the odds. One of the great set pieces is inspired by Dermot's character, ALAN ROSNER, who was a great visionary, and who has created a solar field, a mirror farm. That's a real location in the Mojave Desert, 1,700 acres of massive curved mirrors that's never been used in a movie. I mean, it ought to be in a James Bond movie for $100 million, but we're the first to shoot there. And it creates this, our goal was to make a scene, a cat and mouse scene, as iconic as the Mount Rushmore scene in Hitchcock's North by Northwest. And I hope that we succeeded, or at least came close.
You did. And actually, that whole sequence of the scene with the solar mirrors was a perfect cat and mouse section of this film. I caught myself, you're rooting on Rabbi Mo, and the mirrors is what plays a wonderful trick from the adversary trying to figure out where in the world he is. So I thought it was very interesting to find out that you were the very first to actually do a film there. So kudos to you.
Thank you. There's a different kind of mirror facility that you pass on the way to Vegas near Ivanpah. And when I saw that one, also a thermal solar energy farm, I thought, I need a movie. I need to make a movie where I can have a cat and mouse scene in a location like that. And we had that goal even before we had the movie or the story. But it was so great to be able to realize it.
Well, Dermot, you play a very strong character in this film, and you actually play throughout the film here, and we won't give too much away because I don't want to spoil this film for anyone because it is a must-see film. But you play a very strong character. What I loved about your character was that in this film, you supported the Jewish community where there were others in the film that didn't. How did that feel?
Well, the way the story plays out, as you say, it's a thriller, so we don't say too much, is that there's almost a presumption of religious conflict, and indeed it turns out that it has a little bit more to do with economic conflict, let's say. So I like that twist in the storyline, and in a way it reflects what's going on, where everybody's the different sides are being misused and conflicts are created within the existing conflicts by misunderstandings and poor communication between groups. So we all know that's what's led to as these retaliatory attacks, and what our film touches on, where you have to, like a classic Western or other film genre, where you have to rise to the occasion. Rabbi Mo, played by the great Mark Feuerstein, just takes on a classic film role like that, and brings it to him, let's say.
Well, yeah, I love the fact that this film is it's part modern day, a little bit, I would almost say a little bit maybe like John Wick, not so violent, but at the same time, it's got this little bit of Western feel because you shot in the high desert. So I just love the whole look of this film. But this film also shows a young man, Clay, who was a bit groomed into the world of neo-Nazis. And I noticed that this film has a very important lesson. Once a person opens their ears and their heart to listen, there's a chance for understanding to increase and hate to decrease. Salvador, is this one of the messages you want people to receive when they see this film?
Probably the most important message. I mean, there's a lot of hatred that is being sparked in the world today against people by people that they haven't even met. In other words, people go online, they hear a bunch of lies. As Dermot was alluding to, there's media, there's different kinds of media that are profiting, that are making money from keeping us divided, keeping us against each other. And so we're told terrifying things, hateful things about scapegoated people that are different than us. And then, as you say, when you actually meet someone from these communities, break bread with them, then everything changes. Then you have a chance to understand who they are, what they're about, how they became who they are, what's important to them. And you can share what's important to you, who you are, how you became who you are. And that's when communication is possible. And that's how we move toward peace, reconciliation, and forging a new world.
Yeah, I loved, I'll just say this. I love the last 90 seconds of this film, pass the credit. So people, when you watch this film, make sure you stay to the very end of this film, because there's something that you need to see in here, which actually comes from Salvador. Now, Dermot, what do you want people to take away from this film when they see it in the theater, besides just being entertaining?
Well, very much for me, that's what it is. It was a great experience to work with great filmmakers and actors. And this is a tight, suspenseful thriller of who done it and how to get them. I really enjoyed being a part of it.
Yeah, I love that, because ladies and gentlemen, there are so many twists and turns in this film. You will not be able to figure it out. So you have to watch the whole film. And the greatest thing is it's going to be in theaters nationwide, July 18th. Salvador, please tell me, is there going to be a sequel?
A sequel, perhaps a series. I mean, we've got a great franchise character, Rabbi Mo. There hasn't been a detective like him before. There's a lot of murders that need solving.
That's it. And ladies and gentlemen, Guns N' Moses is not just your typical John Wick type movie. It goes much deeper than that. Sure, there is firepower, but there is a human story of epic proportions that everyone needs to see. Guns N' Moses is a thrilling ride inspired by real events and a powerful reminder that courage, faith, and unity can light the way forward, and done with a star-studded cast. I loved everything about Guns N' Moses, so get ready for my review when it comes out, because I will be singing its praises as the message is clear. May God and your Glock protect you. So I want to thank you, Salvador and Dermot, for your time today, and much success to Guns and Moses.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Can't wait to read that review.
You're very welcome, and shalom to both of you. And ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back with more.